BlackRock literally crashed the entire DTCC website and sent the cryptocurrency markets into an absolute frenzy over the past couple of days. So if you haven't heard about it, get out from under your rock. Scaramucci even quotes a $330,000 Bitcoin price point upon approval of the ETF. That's an 11x, so hold on for dear life and get your spacesuits ready. And no, this video is not clickbait. BlackRock could very easily be the very first ever United States-based Bitcoin spot ETF to receive approval from the SEC. And this video is going to cover some very bullish news and some little known facts that no one has ever probably told you, so make sure that you are paying attention. Everything from BlackRock getting assigned the ETF ticker, IBTC, all the way up to the fact that they have a seed investor lined up for the ETF and what that means. I'm even going to cover how you could have potentially seen this coming because they were actually added back in August to the DTCC roster, as well as the process that they need to go through in order to be decided upon and approved for that ETF. Obviously, so that we can gauge how far they are through that process to get our portfolios ready. And I know Scaramucci threw around a $333,000 Bitcoin price that I quoted earlier in the introduction, but what I'm also going to do is give you my 3 most bullish coins that I think are going to do extremely well if this ETF gets approved and the floodgates open. All of that and more in this video. So welcome to DrewTube. The only thing that I ask from you before we get into all of this information is that you make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe, boom, bang on that notification bell, and help me reach my goal of amassing 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Now, let's go see these 4 coins that are going to 100x our portfolios over the next couple of years. No matter what the news outlets and your favorite crypto influencer told you, other than obviously Drew Wolfer, no, the spot Bitcoin ETF has not been approved as of this point. We are trending in the right direction though, and all the pieces are starting to fall into place. But you are still early, my friend, so pat yourself on the back. So let's cover why Bitcoin went from $28,000 to $36,000 in the matter of about 2 days. And this was on basically pure speculation of the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF being approved in the future. If you don't know what that is the iShares Bitcoin ETF that is allowing people to get access to crypto investments without actually having to own crypto. I'm sure you can infer how bullish this is. The spark that ignited this 20% rally over just a couple of hours of trading was the fact that BlackRock received its ticker symbol for its ETF, IBTC, and was listed on the DTCC website. What's the DTCC, you ask? The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation is a financial services company that provides clearing and settlement services for the financial markets to the tune of about $2.5 quadrillion in 2022 alone. And yes, you heard that correct. So yeah, this is a big deal. Once news got out about this, it literally crashed the DTCC website because it is not used to having such high volume. Obviously, everybody was doing their own research, so kudos to all of us, and checking that the news was factual on the DTCC website. The site literally crashed and the ticker symbol for the BlackRock ETF was removed briefly for a couple of hours, and the markets immediately responded with at least a 3% sell-off until the ticker symbol went back up and then the market did. That shows the power of this news. The $908 million ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, BITO, was 7.3% higher in midday trading, while the Van Eck Bitcoin Strategy ETF, XBTF, gained 6.9% in literally a day. It remains a matter of when, not a matter of if, said the Grayscale CEO on the spot Bitcoin approval process at an October 23rd event. Well, damn, loving the enthusiasm on that. The SEC has been actively engaging with S1 filing applicants, signaling a positive move towards application effectiveness, said CoinShares head of research James Butterfield in a statement. Several issuers are in the final stages of their applications, and BlackRock is one of them. The SEC faces a final deadline to respond to ARK Invest and 21 share spot Bitcoin ETF application by January 10th of 2024, and BlackRock's application by March 15th of 2024. We believe there's a 90% chance of approval by ARK's January 10th deadline, James Safer, ETF analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, wrote in a recent note. So get your jet fuel ready because you're going to need it. Anthony Scaramucci, a politician and entrepreneur whose firm Skybridge Capital was an early investor in Blackrock's Bitcoin Trust product, says the Wall Street firm will likely receive approval to offer a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, ETF, in the next few months, and that such a product will draw $100 billion in institutional investment. He's quoted by saying this: "There will be an army of people, salespeople, financial consultants, financial advisors, private bankers that will have digital assets as part of their long-term tactical capital allocation portfolios." Think of the magnitude of that. If there's $100 billion that flows into Bitcoin, that could have an 11x factor in terms of valuation. So you could see Bitcoin go from $600 billion worth of an asset to a $600 trillion asset, says Scaramucci. Let's go! Even if it does half of that, we are all in for a nice treat, because remember, I'm giving you 3 other coins that will likely outperform Bitcoin in the bull run to come. So pay attention for that. And subscribe to the channel, because I will be dropping an entire series on my most bullish altcoin to the tune of about 100 or so different coins. Now, what if I told you could have potentially predicted this sentiment and the run up today back in August, because most people don't know what this DTCC listing actually means? Well, in Singapore, BlackRock's BLK.N ticker proposed Bitcoin exchange traded fund, ETF, was added to a clearinghouse eligibility file back in August of 2023. But the move is not indicative of any regulatory approval, said the clearinghouse. They were also quoted in saying that this is a standard practice in preparation for a launch of a new ETF, and that appearing on the list is not indicative of an outcome for any outstanding regulatory or approval processes. Now, why is that? Well, here's the process for ETFs that BlackRock and iShares have been through hundreds of times and have been approved for, might I add. First, the prospective ETF manager, known as the sponsor, files a plan with the SEC to create an ETF. This is where the Bitcoin ETF process has been held up, as the SEC continuously rejects these proposals. In the case of recent applications, such as the one submitted by BlackRock, the sponsor and authorized participant, normally a large institutional investor, would most likely be the same entity. Assuming that the application moves forward from this point, the authorized participant begins to acquire the underlying asset, Bitcoin, places these assets in a trust, and then uses these assets to form ETF creation units to sell on the open market, the stock market. Basically, they have to own as much Bitcoin as the shares that they sell on the stock market. Now, want more bullish sentiment before we get into my 3 coins that are going to absolutely rip once the ETF is approved? BlackRock already has a seed investor lined up to get the ETF off of the ground the day that it is approved. They're not wasting time. Actually, they're ahead of it. In a filing to the US SEC, last week, the world's biggest fund manager, BlackRock, said that the seed capital investor had planned to buy shares in October of 2023. The exact date had been redacted from the amendment, and the visible part of the amendment reveals that the seed capital investor would buy this month. A seed capital investor initially funds an ETF to get it off of the ground and trading on the stock exchange. Now, BlackRock's seed capital investor section in the filing does not mean that the ETF will necessarily launch this month or even next month, but the fact that they have a seed investor lined up and the section in the application is filled out, that almost looks like they're ready to start seed capital this month in October of 2023. Now, before we get into our 3 coins, let's define an ETF for the layperson so everyone understands how absolutely huge this is. An ETF is an investment vehicle that allows investors to buy shares that track the underlying price of an asset. A Bitcoin ETF would allow investors to get exposure to Bitcoin without having to deal with a crypto exchange or storing the digital coin themselves. Now, since we are up to date on why crypto is pumping, let's look at the next 3 coins that will follow BTC and will likely outperform it in the bull run. Drum roll, please. Ethereum is my first coin, not only because it's number 2 in the crypto market cap, but because futures and spot ETF filings have come in from many companies. Most notably, ARK Invest and 21 Shares filed for the first ever spot Ethereum ETF. This is absolutely massive. I cannot explain that to you enough. Bitwise, Volatility Shares, ProShares, Roundhill, VanEck, Grayscale, Direxion, Kelly, and Valkyrie have all applied for futures ETFs on Ethereum. This is the largest and most noteworthy chain in the world, second only to Bitcoin. Almost everything is built on Ethereum. If Bitcoin 10x's, ETH could literally 15 to 20x. That's why my company, Wolfer Finance, has a sizable portion of its portfolio in Ethereum validator nodes, earning us yield while we wait for that 20x, baby. ETH is going to soar. It always does, and it always pumps at multiples larger than Bitcoin in these bull markets. My second pick, XRP from Ripple Labs. This thing has been begging to catch fire ever since the SEC lost their suit against Ripple Labs earlier this year. Couple that with the fact that XRP is in the top spot to be facilitating cross-border payments via CBDCs or central bank digital currencies for governments, and the sky is the limit for XRP. This is definitely going to be in my moon bag. And XRP is older than Ethereum. It was invented in 2013, and it's one of the most well-known chains in the entire world, and it has the XRP army behind it. It is in the top 5 cryptos for a reason, and trust and believe it will stay there for many years to come. My third pick, BNB. Why? It's the number 4 crypto in the entire world for a reason as well, and it has multiple use cases just like XRP and Ethereum do. Coins like BNB have a self-fulfilling utility. It is linked to the largest exchange in the entire world in cryptocurrency. Not only does BNB go up due to people using it to pay trading fees on Binance.com and Binance US exchanges, but it also appreciates due to the fact that it is the currency that runs one of the top EVM blockchains, Ethereum virtual machines, known to mankind. Plenty of projects are building on the Binance Smart Chain, and even more will build on BSC during the bull run. And those projects and participants have to use BNB for fees on transactions on the Binance Smart Chain. They also have a lot of BNB in their liquidity pools, which surges their demand. This thing is about to moon rocket as well, and these are the 4 safest plays that you will likely ever get to 10 or 20x your money quickly. I'm building my bag. Make your own decisions and make your own inferences. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just the guy with the braids on YouTube delivering you the information in a fun and entertaining way. Go out, do some research, and I'll see you on the moon. One last thing before we go. Please make sure that you're being responsible and diversifying your portfolio across multiple assets, sectors, and markets. That is integral in actually building a good portfolio that can withstand the test of time and earn you generational wealth that you can pass down to your family and could hopefully afford you the joy of an early retirement. And if you're looking for more ways to diversify, pay attention for Wolfer Finance and Presend's regulation crowdfunding offerings that are coming in the next couple of weeks. I am the CEO of both companies. They are both fully regulated and compliant with the SEC and its laws, and I will be dropping videos on them both once the funding rounds open in a couple of weeks. And you can always sign up for my email list to be notified of them when they open up. It is the first link in the description of this video. Much love to you all, and if you like content like this, obviously, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up to this video. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.